Good morning, everyone. Today is March the 12th, and this is your pre-market show StockCast. I am your host, James Mason, with Todd Derby. Todd, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing well. So currently, the Dow futures are up 26 points. The S&P 500 futures are down 15 points right now. I am expecting the market to open up choppy, and as it stands, probably have a sell-off today, this Friday. So keep that in mind. Again, with this choppiness, that's probably going to happen. Keep those position sizes small. It is Friday. We also, have some, macro events, catalysts, like the stimulus checks that we've been talking about in the show this week. And, it's just going to make things pretty tough to probably trade today. So, Todd, what do we have on the menu today? Let's talk about ticker SEEL.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of the runners this morning, so we can take a look at that one.
Okay, so ticker SEEL. Let's hit that short interest first. So the last updated short interest was 2.58 million shares shorted. Percent of the float being shorted 3.75 overall. Share structure 72 million shares outstanding. The float 68.8 million shares. So we do have a pretty decent sized float there overall. But Todd, why is this one important to us?
Well, it's got some catalysts coming up here this month. I didn't do a lot of digging to find out what the catalysts are, but I've seen in a couple other places where they mentioned those catalysts coming. So it's a biostock, and sometimes these biostocks, they get positive catalysts and they run. So made a run this morning. Got a high of, I think, 445, 430, and then it came down, and then since last 15, 20 minutes, it hasn't stopped. And literally, as we're speaking, it's printing 460 right now.
So breaking this down technically, what I'd have to see here, since I'm obviously not in this trade, but what I would need to see before what I could, before I can potentially even jump into this trade is I need to see this thing pull back some. Let's look at it on the daily chart here. So you can see this yellow line. This is the current price value, and we have actually just broken above that high right there. That's a critical range. Now, looking at this overall, I'm going to look for a price target right around 837, somewhere in there. And I don't believe that's going to happen today. I don't even know if I'm going to make an entry today on this. But looking forward, if I can get this thing to give me a clean setup and pull back and just kind of consolidate, I need to see what these pre-market highs will be for today before actually making my entry. So if I can paint this picture for you, what I'd like to really see here, and hopefully this helps you visualize this. Let's just say this thing tops out right here, pre-market, sells off, probably does a little roller coaster ride today, whatnot. Maybe come next week, I would wait for it to break this pre-market high, whatever that may be, and that's when I would make my entry. So that is what I want to see for this ticker, SEEL. And again, we do have a pending catalyst coming up. So when that catalyst actually triggers, that's probably when this thing will really take off running here. Another ticker. This thing has just been on a run lately. This ticker ENTX. And you was actually in this trade this week, wasn't you?
Yeah, so actually I shared this in the TTBB chat room. I was in this trade. My average price was 170, and it did a little dip down to 150-ish, and a couple of the members got in the low 150, 160 range. And then yesterday it shared news after our show. Actually, the news came out after our show. I left my desk, came back, opened up my account, and I was up really big for my trading account. So it made a pretty good run yesterday, and then I ended up shorting it down because it was running hot, and then I was done with it, and then it made an after hours push last night. And so there's one of two thoughts is going on. Either I think there's some shorts trapped in this, but I think the news that we saw on this was real. It had an FDA approval, and so I don't think this is going back to $1.50. I think it's going to stay up here in a decent range. But this morning it's making a pretty good run, and they don't want us shorting it. The short locate fees are expensive. They're like almost 24 cents a share, where yesterday they were like 2 or 3 cents. So to me, that's a signal. I'll stay away from it unless I'm going to want to go long in it.
All right. So let's break the share structure down on this ticker right here. This is ENTX again. For short interest, the last update, this is 135,000 shares. And again, this data is delayed by 2 weeks. So there were obviously a lot of shorts in it yesterday trying to ride that fade down, and they're probably upside down right now. So we could see a bear squeeze here today, and I'll explain that in a moment. So outstanding shares, 18.2 million. The float, 6.3 million. This share structure, this is a perfect share structure in my opinion. This is what I like to look for personally. These low share structures, like outstanding shares with a low float. And when it starts making a run like this, what I would look for next if I wasn't able to catch this run up in the beginning, we can see this whole setup on this 5-minute chart. This is a perfect bear flag. Bull flag setting up. So what I'm going to look for is I want to see these 5-minute candles just start wedging and just squeezing all the way up in here. And the more it squeezes up into this corner, the more velocity this thing will have if it breaks up. And also too, if it would break down, it could go against us here. But if this thing sets up in a perfect scenario here, wedges up here as close as possible to this corner, and then actually breaks off the top, we should see pretty significant velocity coming out the gates for whenever it happens, and this thing just like shooting up. So overall, see, my entry that I would look for here is $7.89. That would be breaking that high back here of yesterday. And my overall target price would really just be undetermined at this point, since it's just going to be creating an all-time high. As you can see on these charts, there's no other data. So in a sense, that's good, but at the same time, it does make it hard to give that overall target. What would probably be best in this scenario is to just put in a trailing stop loss. I would personally probably put in about I'd probably put in about a 30 to 40 cent trailing stop loss. With this being a low float, this thing could probably tack on a few points here. So that is what I will be looking for to set up here. And let's see, who all do we have here today? So good morning, everybody who has tuned in. Go ahead, if you have not liked this video yet, give us some likes here. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and hit that bell notification. That way you can get notified as soon as we go live immediately. So let's see. Does anyone have any tickers they want to look at today? I'll give it a moment for y'all to answer. For the overall market, pre-market today is really just kind of slow. We were trying to find some good stocks to really look at, and just not much news. There really hasn't been much news this week. Usually,
I was really kind of expecting more out of the president's talk last night too. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I read a couple of articles about it, and really he just wanted to kind of focus on making sure everyone has an opportunity to have access to the vaccine by May 1st. And kind of felt like that's kind of old news, or yeah, been kind of preaching it for a while. So a little disappointed in his message.
Really, overall, how the government pretty much functions is just they just recycle the same news over and over. I mean, if you think back a couple of years ago when President Trump was in office, the news of the day was always the China trade deal, the tariffs. Right. And that went on forever. And now it's going to be this stimulus check and then this vaccine. And we're just going to kick this can down the road. All right. So
talk about weed stocks. So someone's asked about weed stocks, and I think we have I think Tilray went on a run yesterday.
Tilray real quick. Oh wow, sure did. Yeah. What a breakout right there around 25. So 25 up to almost 29 in the day.
One of our moderators, Rob, has been in that one, and he's heavy in that.
I wonder what made it drop off like that.
Don't know.
That sucks. Let's see. So me personally, before I go long in Tilray again, I'd have to see it break above 33.01. And then my next price target would be 41.50. So that's what I would look for on Tilray. So let's take a look at the comments. Let's see, ticker PRPL. See if we got any news on this.
Purple Innovation.
Okay, so short interest data on this. Last update, 2.7 million shares shorted. Percent of float, 4.9% of the float is being shorted. Days to cover, 2.1. That is actually pretty significant. This one probably could be worth watching. Share structure, outstanding shares, 63.9 million shares. Outstanding float, 54.9 million shares right there. So a little bulky, but with that days to cover and that many shares being shorted, this one might have some potential here. Let's see if we have any news on it. I'm not really seeing any news at the moment.
No, the only thing I found is that one of the founders of Purple Innovation is they're planning on opening up a SPAC.
So me just looking at this on the daily chart, I personally couldn't take it until it broke above these highs back here. And just the way I trade, for anyone who doesn't know, I usually don't like to trade in between the lines. It's either breaking above highs, breaking down below lows, or if it's some kind of algo play I'm on that I have going on. So looking on the 5-minute chart, yeah, for just day trade wise, I would still have to just wait until it broke above yesterday's highs just to try to jump in it for a day trade. But that's just me personally. It's not really the setup that I like, but that doesn't mean you might not like it. So let's see, GM. I see a couple comments for GM. Let's see what we got going on there. Oh man, GM with the gap down today.
Were they asking about GM, or were they saying good morning?
Yeah, that's true. Is it GM or good morning, guys? You gotta understand, I'm a trader, so if you write GM, I'm not taking it as a good morning. Anyways, we'll just keep rolling with it. So GM with the gap down today. I hate trading these automotive stocks overall. For me, I just don't think they really move too good.
Well, I think the whole auto industry is being pressured by the whole electric vehicle movement. So I think you're going to see only pops and drops based on EV news, either good or bad. So I'm with you. I don't have any automotive stocks in my portfolio, and I'm okay with that.
So me personally, I am looking at GM for a bearish trade. I look for it to break below 55.62 before making an entry with a target price of about 52.76. Obviously buying put contracts here. But other than that, I can't see GM in any other light. It's screaming bearish to me.
Take a look at AAU.
All right, let's see. Let me run this, see if we can find any news. What's significant about AAU in the comments for the person who wrote it? I don't see any news on it. It looks bearish to me. Let's see what the share structure is. So 121 million shares outstanding. Honestly, I hate the price on it. It doesn't look good on the daily chart either. I'd worry about this one if I was in it. So for the member who posted about AAU, is there any significance for it? I can't find nothing on it. All right, so let's look at ITRM. All right, so outstanding shares 152.5 million, float 117.9 million. So a little bulky there. Looking at it on the daily chart, what I like to see for me before going long in this, I'd have to see this thing actually break back above like this high right here. So I had to see it break back above 215 before considering making an entry. And then if we broke above this high right here, around $3, could start seeing some very positive price action. My overall target price on this would probably be, let me check the news real quick. All right. So without any news, my overall target price on this would probably be around $6 in that range.
This has got they've done two offerings. They did an offering at $1.15, and they did another offering at $2. So in this $1.50 to $1.70 range, you're in that sweet spot in between those two offerings. And they've got AdCom coming up in May, June, and then they have PDUFA date in July. So there's some things brewing with ITRM. I'm not sure what they do. So with your technical analysis, and then if they get some positive news on any of these upcoming catalysts, this could pop to your target fairly easily.
Okay. So that's pretty much what we see just quickly looking at ITRM. Really overall, the thing I don't like about this, I just don't like the share structure for these smaller caps being that much over. I really don't like a small cap share structure being really over 50 million. But that doesn't mean this won't work out. We'll just need a good catalyst to really get this thing going. So AVEO. So AVEO, we have a pre-market cap up 6% today. Zoom in for a moment. All right, so 2 days ago, you can see this end of day run right here. Pushed up here to around 23.40 in that range, and basically sold off 50%. For a day trade here, I'd have to see that 9 EMA cross above that VWAP line before making entry, which that VWAP line is currently $12.91. And I probably just look for price target at best $16.14. And that's really trying to squeeze one out right here, in my opinion. So overall, I don't really like this 100% for a day trade. There's definitely better day trades out there on the market, but you can still squeeze out something if this setup occurred, but nonetheless, It's just one of those things you just have to really keep your eye on. And I mean, as you can tell, like the way I'm talking about it, I'm just not really feeling this one too much. Let me see what the share structure is on it. So the last updated short interest, 1.16 million shares being shorted, 4.43% of the float being shorted. Days to cover, 2.8. Outstanding shares, 28.8 million. The float, 26.2 million. So the share structure overall, I do like. But we'll just need to see this thing actually move some more. Me personally, man, honestly, I'm not going to BS anyone here. If I wasn't already in this thing, I would just look past it. If I didn't catch this run, or if I just didn't get caught in here, I'll just move on, find something else. So let's take a quick peek at one more. Ticker RAD. And old Rite Aid. Let's see what the share structure is on this. So outstanding shares, 55.2 million. The float, 49.1 million. Short interest, shares short, last update, 7.5 million shares. Percent of the float, 15.29%. Days to cover, 1.9. Fundamentally, based off the short interest, this thing could start squeezing out here pretty good. Let's see. Let's look at a daily chart real quick. So as you can see this line going across, we are breaking above this high back here, and that's actually a significant breakout point. This one might really be worth watching here. So I would look for the break above 23.90. My first target price, 27. Second target price, 32.50. And then if this thing got like very just parabolic, overall target price, 56.90. And when I say 56.90, I mean that's like a lot of play. I don't see that one happening unless if they really have some significant news. Todd, can you find anything on it?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the volume today. They've literally traded so far 26 shares.
Yeah, very low volume. So
yeah, I would just be careful. This doesn't excite me until we see some volume going on, and their average volume is 3.8 million. So there's nothing going on right now with it.
All right, so I'll answer one more question. So next question, what are my thoughts on the release of yesterday's SEC Schedule 13G filing involving 47 million shares of ticker NAKD, and how much weight do I give these filings? So this filings, it's going to be situational. And there's just so many variables that you have to consider. And that is starting from its share structure already, what industry they're in, and what catalysts they have pending or they just recently had. Now, this ticker, I've been seeing it run for a while now. I've never been honestly really serious about it. That's why I've never alerted it to anyone. This company actually just has a bad history. Let me look at the share structure real quick. Without even looking at the short interest, the outstanding shares are 475.9 million.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's just bloated.
Well, so if I had to look into their financials, I bet you their burn rate per month is high. They're just burning, they got to be burning money.
It have to be. Really, though, this again, like I was just saying, this company is just known for really just being crap. If you got in it back here when it was literally like 20 some cents and wrote it up, if you're still holding on for whatever reason, I personally wouldn't understand why you wouldn't have taken profits yet. But if you're still holding on, I would start considering coming up with a plan to take profits. With them wanting to take on another 47 million shares. Yeah, I mean, that's just what this company does. They just constantly dilute their stock. So that's just why I don't even ever chase this one. But hopefully, if you're in it, it works out well for you, and you can, pull off a successful trade here. Again, this company is just, ugh. So hopefully I didn't rain on your parade on a Friday. Man, I've been negative today. Jeez.
It's Friday. It's the end of the week. Actually, it's been a good week, though.
Yeah.
It's been a good week on the trading floor. So I've been pleased with the trades this week.
Man, so this week, my swing trades have just been phenomenal. But man, the past 2 days, my day trades, I can't say that like flat out sucked, but I haven't been able to pull off successful day trades last 2 days. I pretty much, I kept my stop losses pretty tight, and man, just couldn't get nothing to really work out. For instance, ticker SLGG. Long term, I feel good about this one long term. And the reason why is this whole gaming industry. I'm not going to say it's like the next big thing because it's always just kind of been here, but it's really heating up. This industry is. So me personally, I just feel like this industry is worth watching. I mean, if you think about it, look at all these companies who are getting to gaming. Facebook is focusing hard on the gaming industry. That's what they're trying to convert their platform into. It's kind of like this all-in-one social media platform where the obvious Facebook, social media aspect of it, but they're trying to make it to where you can watch movies, rent movies on it now. They're focusing hardcore on the gaming industry. And when you start having big players like that in the tech industry, making that their business model, it's something you really need to start focusing on. That's just the way I believe.
Yeah, to your point, so if Facebook and Amazon are looking at something or dipping their toe into it, it's worth keeping your eyes on it.
Yeah. But yeah, yesterday I tried to day trade this one. I pushed the alert. And the reason why I push this alert is if you look at this white line, this is the 9 EMA, and then this orange line, this is the VWAP. It started squeezing, and I was expecting this to break above it and really just start running here, especially since they were having earnings. I just thought like the FOMO would be in it, and this thing would just like break out, and I could pull off a solid day trade, and it didn't happen. I got in this thing, and then it just pulled down pretty quickly. I ended up stopping out around $7.10, and it wasn't. I didn't really have. I just lost like a few $100s. I had 1,500 shares, so I wasn't really heavy in it, and I kept that stop loss pretty tight. But nonetheless, like it just always sucks, man, when you have like multiple losing day trades. I think I've had like 3 losing day trades in a row. I just hate that. But my swing trades are crushing it, so can't really complain. So other than that, that is all I have for
today. Couple shout outs here. One, good morning, Jonathan. thanks for joining us. Thank you for the gift, the $5 gift. That's appreciated. And then Charles Plesko, you comment about the trade I called out yesterday. You're welcome. Thank you for commenting. Appreciate all the other comments.
Yes, definitely. And if you watch this video later, make sure that you just drop your ticker in the comment section of the video. That way, one, it helps us out with the algorithms, but also two, we do monitor those stocks, and if we find any significant news on them, we will report it in the videos. Just keep that in mind. Jonathan writing negative Nancy James. Yeah, pretty much. Man, other than that, that is all I have for today and for this week. I probably won't day trade today. I'm in quite a few swing trades at the moment, and I'm wanting to see those wrap up. For instance, ticker APOP. That would be nice. Huge catalyst pending. It's just, when are they going to release that news? Top line data. That one should be a nice runner, in my opinion. But that's just me. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Let us know in the comments of the video what you thought, for this first week of us running this StockCast series. And, if you guys didn't like it, we'll just stop it. Actually, we won't. We won't stop. I don't care.
If it's just you and I, James, we'll be here.
Exactly, yeah. So,
all right, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. Y'all take care. Be safe. Trade safe. Keep those position sizes small. And y'all have a safe and happy weekend.